It's simple. If that offensive line can open up the holes for Zeke, and Zeke can go back to having the burst and the pop that he had a few years ago, and Tony Pollard, I like Pollard as a backup to Zeke so he can help. If those guys can be effective, then that's going to set the identity. A very balanced offense, not Dak throwing it around like Aaron Rodgers or Pat Mahomes, and not necessarily, Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt in the backfield, but a balanced attack where it's not all on Dak's shoulders offensively. If they can do that, then I agree with you, LeVar. They can have a good impact this year.
Yeah, I've got 11 wins just for the Cowboy haters out there. The 76ers hired a trainer recently, and not just any trainer, Damian Lillard's trainer. The two have ties dating all the way back to Dame's time in college at Weber State. It's no secret Philly is interested in acquiring the all-star point guard, with plenty of reports going to back that up. Offering Ben Simmons might turn the Sixers' dream of getting Lillard into a reality. Chris, where would the Sixers rank in the East if they landed Dame?
Well, they certainly would be in that group of three, which are three absolutely excellent teams: Brooklyn, Milwaukee, and Philadelphia. That would be the three, and they would battle it out. If I had to rank those, I would go with Brooklyn #1, assuming, everybody's healthy. And then I honestly think I would put Philadelphia ahead of Milwaukee. And I hate to say that because I would really like to see Giannis turn this team into a dynasty. I would love to see him in the super team era be able to win championships consistently without a super team. All right, but Damian Lillard and Joel Embiid, that is a force. I think finally that would put Embiid down low a little bit more. I don't want him down there all the time like he's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, because he is an outstanding mid-range shooter. But if you take away Ben Simmons, which would be the fact in the trade for Lillard, now Embiid doesn't have to get out of the post occasionally so Ben can be at the dunker spot so somebody will guard him. So he could do more damage on the post in addition to his mid-range stuff. And then Dame on the outside, that is an inside-outside punch that you rarely see. And then they still would have Tobias Harris. That's a big three that's better than Milwaukee's big three, if you want to call Middleton and Drew Holiday that with Giannis. And so I would really like Philadelphia. They would lose something defensively because Dame's not a defender. And then they lose Simmons and probably Matisse Thybulle, who's an excellent defender. But Embiid is still an anchor to that defense, and you can add some guys that just get after it. And so, look, I think Philadelphia going into I would say they'd be second to Brooklyn, but those three top teams would be a head and shoulders above everybody else, including your Miami Heat, J-Mac, and they would battle it out for that Eastern Conference crown.
I actually would put them at 1 over Brooklyn. And the reason why I would put them over Brooklyn is because of the youth on the side of the Sixers. If you were to bring Dame here, I don't look at them at like with Tobias and Maxey and those guys on the roster. I think that you have younger, fresher legs, quicker legs that are going to be a problem in the East. Now you look at what Dame Lillard brings to the table. I don't look at it as an inside-outside thing because, quite frankly, Embiid doesn't really play inside. But what I will say is that the ability to create and have opportunities, you kept mentioning, Bradley Beal. And I love the idea of it. And in fact, that it had been conversations that I've had. Being a D.C. guy, you wonder, I want him to stay with Washington, but you start to entertain, like, man, if he went to the Sixers, what that would mean and what that would represent.
Right.
I think that Dame Lillard, Bradley Beal has taken some major steps forward, but I still think that if I had to choose between Bradley Beal and Dame Lillard, I'm probably going to go with Dollar Dame and Dame Dollars. But the thing about it is his mentality, his gut, that fits Philadelphia. If you know about Philadelphia and you know about that city, and I know that Bradley Beal is a dog too, but Dame has like a grit about him that would really, really set, like, it's almost AI-like. It's almost Iverson-like if you really think about it.
I agree.
And so to have that type of personality come back into the city of Philly, it would not only be a great decision for Joel Embiid and for the 76ers as a team, but imagine the type of impact that it would have on the sports community there in Philadelphia, bringing that type of a guy in. So I would actually place them ahead. I would say they're in the runner's seat until they prove differently otherwise.
Yeah, what's the saying, LeVar? A quickest way to a man's heart is through his stomach.
Yeah.
I think the analogy is the quickest way to an NBA player's heart is hire his trainer or his buddy. Like, obviously, famously, the Spurs brought in Kawhi Leonard's best buddy from high school and college. Like, he's basically followed him to every stop. It's a smart move. It's a genius move by Daryl Morey. I can't go there, LeVar. I don't think they're one, but I will say this. They're a clear two, Chris. They leapfrogged the Miami Heat, who were 3. I got the Bucks 4. Dame and Joel Embiid are two top 10 players in the league, okay? That's better than anything the Bucks have. And as you said, Tobias Harris, I am all for giving up Maxey if you have to, giving up Matisse Thybulle. You got to do whatever you can, Daryl Morey, to bring in Dame Lillard. The trade I had heard was Dame and Nurkic in exchange for Ben Simmons, Tyrese Maxey, and Thybulle. I know you're going to say, what do you need Nurk for? We've been over this. Joel Embiid is hurt every single year. Nurkic, a great backup. Remember, I know they brought in Andre Drummond this week, but come on, Andre Drummond, really? That's like a bad move when you consider Nurkic is I think, a better overall player. And this Damian Lillard pairing with Joel Embiid would be formidable. Can you imagine the floor spacing? Tobias Harris, Damian Lillard, I don't know the status of Seth Curry, but if you put those guys and Joel Embiid in the Olajuwon spot that Broussard doesn't want to put him in, you've just got amazing, amazing shooting on the perimeter. And all of a sudden, the Sixers become a real threat against the Brooklyn Nets.
More shooters than anybody else in the East. Maybe more shooters than anybody in the league.
And Broussard, who on the Nets is defending Joel Embiid? He's going to get 40. He's going to roll out of bed and get 40 a night against the Nets. And I don't think Harden or Kyrie are a good matchup for Dame. LeVar, you might be onto something. It's close.
I'm just telling you.
It's not quite the one, but it's like maybe 1B, right? The Nets at 1A, and I think Dame Sixers, Dame Sixers at 1B.
You get Dame Lillard, call their names.
The Nets would have their advantages. The Nets would have their advantages. The Sixers would have their advantages. If I'm the Sixers, I would do everything I could to keep Seth Curry, too.
I agree.
And yet, Portland might want him, so it'd be tough. But if they had Seth and Dame, I love it. J-Mac, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't want Embiid in the Olajuwon spot. What? I do. I want him down there more. I still want him shooting mid-range, too. No. But I want him down there more.
Mid-range, the most inefficient shot in the NBA.
It's Dame Dollar.
Dame Dollar.
Not dollar.
Hey, my bad.
Okay, dollar. Dollar.
Yeah. You know, you can't put that hard R on the end. You got to always keep it with an A. I'm with you.
Man.
I'm with you.
Dollar. But I think Dame, look, and I get it. He's loyal. He doesn't want to cross the fans up in Portland. I know he's not I don't think he's big on the super team thing. But Dame, Kevin Garnett didn't want to leave Minnesota. And they were bad. And he didn't want to leave them to go to Boston to play with Paul Pierce and Ray Allen. Finally, he relented, goes there, wins his only championship, and then says, you know what, I should have done this younger. Dame, you just wasting time. Look, if he gives Chauncey a year, what are they going to do this year? They lost to a Denver squad without Jamal Murray, a Denver squad that got swept by the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns were really good, but not scaring anybody, not frighteningly good. Portland is no way, even if everything works out well. You're not getting past those Lakers, assuming they put it together. And so Dame would just be stalling for another year. I think he needs to go to Portland management and say, let's make it happen. Let's work together. Ben Simmons is a piece you can build around. You put shooters around him. Send me to Philly to play with Mr. Embiid, because then I think Dame gets in the championship race, and that takes his legacy and career, as great as it's already been, to another level.
I'm going to take something else you said on another show, Broussard, and I'm going to use it in this last point that I'm going to make. I just said that you can't say an in and out combination because obviously he doesn't want to play like Olajuwon, which, by the way, Olajuwon was talented enough to play the same type of game Embiid did. He just made sure he was a big man with what he did. That's interesting. But you know what? You know why you don't have to make him into something that he really doesn't want to be?